Welcome back to another episode of Paper Route. I'm Corey Holmes, and I got Ashley Nicole Moss with me. And boss man Brandon Marshall, he's running a little late, so he'll be joining us here in a few. Ashley, how we feeling? Fresh off the PJ?
No, first of all, Brandon decided to stay in Baton Rouge to get his dignity back after he was dunked on, posterized at LSU. So he's probably back
Resting
there
up.
trying to get his lick back. That was that was special.
Yeah,
that was a moment.
Look, we got a great show for him today, right? We talked the Lakers. We got Joel Embiid's big game last night and whatnot. But no, we got to get some of maybe your favorite moments from yesterday's big interview with Angel Reese, right? Like, how'd that go?
I was so impressed by her, and I had the opportunity to tell her this directly. When I was her age, she's 20 years old, sophomore. I was not nearly as sure of myself and confident as she is, and, as fearless, especially being a woman. You're always kind of told what you should be. And when you're finding yourself in those early ages of your life, stages of your life, you're constantly being told what you should do, what you shouldn't do, who you should be, who you shouldn't be. And it can be very overwhelming and it can be very confusing. And she has this just aura about her. She's super sweet and down to earth, but she's very sure of who she is and what she will and will not tolerate. And I was just so impressed to see that she has that at such a young age. And I was already a fan before I met her, but I'm definitely a fan now that I have. So
Of course. Well, look, if you haven't gotten a chance to, see the interview, definitely take a look at it. But look, we actually have a clip for you guys. So let's take a look at it real quick.
I'm
make that
right
transition.
I'm no rush to go to the league. No.
Because the money you can
The money I'm making is more than some of the people that are in the league that might be top players.
How much you make?
Huh?
How much you make?
Why?
You never spill that. You never spill that.
Well, look, Ashley, I think it's like a bigger conversation here, right? So you talk about Angel Reese. She's one of the top earners of, from NIL deals in college. We talking about men's or women's, right? I think I searched it up. She has 17 NIL deals.
Right.
Question I want to know is, though, or the answer rather, can women college athletes like Angel Reese, right, could they help or be responsible in closing the gender gap, and just the pay gender gap in general, right? Professional sports and even college earners.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because the W is still seen as an inferior product. And by the W, I mean the WNBA. And it's not an inferior product, but it's seen like that. And because it's seen like that, the revenue that it brings in is not nearly as large as the NBA. So it's going to take a lot of moving pieces to bridge that gap. But I think that when you have somebody like an Angel Reese or even a Caitlin Clark, she's a dominant player as well, and all the other, young women killing it in college right now, I think they're going to go ahead and help put the WNBA, whenever they make the decision to go ahead and enter the draft and then ultimately enter the league, under a new spotlight, under a new microscope that's going to help push the game forward. And that's what you need. Exactly. That game between Iowa and LSU, 9.9 million people watched it. Exactly. That's more than I believe. I don't know if the numbers came out yet, but I believe that's more than what I would assume it was more, because it was not a good game, between UConn and San Diego State. Right. So I would say that people are interested in women's basketball when the product's good, and the product is normally really good. It's just you have to watch it consistently to know that. Yeah. So I think that this next generation of ballers coming in and the generation that follows them are going to be instrumental in helping to bridge that pay gap, because they're going to make the league more lucrative than it is right now. And then that trajectory is going to continue. Yeah.
I mean, because they're just proving how marketable they really are, right? Like, you think in college basketball, outside of Caitlin Clark, who's more marketable of a college basketball player than those two, right? So that's my thought, right? But, to kind of peel back another layer, this is more just kind of in the era of the NIL, right? You're seeing, to Reese's point, she's making more than, WNBA players, right?
Yeah, which is insane, right?
Yeah. And what I want to know is, what's the future of college sports look like, right? Will players kind of try to take advantage of college now, right? Like with the reality of professional sports not being guaranteed, would you think college athletes are going to start to take advantage more of like the opportunities, the financial opportunities at the college level?
I think the women will. It's different for men because men can be one and done. Angel told us that that's not the case when you play.
A bug just flew right into my face, by the way.
What kind of bug was it?
I got to acknowledge that because that probably looked crazy.
Okay.
But continue.
Got your Mr. Miyagi on.
Right.
It's going to be different for women. Angel, informed Brandon, he was unaware of this, that in order to enter the draft, you have to either graduate or I believe be 22.
22, yeah, I saw that.
Which is different for men because men can be one and done or they can choose to go overseas and take that route. Right. So in terms of, will the NIL keep people in school longer or if it will allow people to be more serious about NIL deals, it's going to be more instrumental for the women because the men are going to be able to make money from a bunch of different angles, especially if you're a top draft pick. So that's going to be the biggest difference between the two. It's an unfortunate difference that a college student, a basketball player, a female basketball player can make more money by being a college student due to NIL than she can playing a professional sport. Because when you think about men, Bronny James has $7 million allegedly in NILs, but that's not even a fraction of what he can make in the NBA.
Right,
That's totally different when you start talking about women. It's unfortunate, but the NIL is going to drastically help them when it comes to that more than it would men, for sure.
Well, I actually have another question, but it looks like Boss Man actually just pulled up. Brandon Marshall, he's here. What's up, man?
I told the viewers that there was a possibility that you were still in Baton Rouge trying to get your dignity back after you were posterized.
Oh, wow.
So you want to elaborate on that? You want to talk about that?
It's all over the internet.
I did see that clip.
I didn't post it. I don't do social, but it's all over the internet. So.
Oh, my goodness. No, you know what it is?
Yeah. And Stack's part is in there, too.
Stack's part is in it. You know what it is? When you're a competitor and you're a winner, sometimes you just don't know how to celebrate, right? Because what you didn't show how I cooked Angel yesterday.
Nagin has that video. I did send that, so don't put that on me. Okay. We just posted the one we thought the people wanted to see.
No, the people want to see,
and that was you getting dunked on.
The people want to see, Angel and I have a shootout. And they want to see how many shots we made in a row. I don't want you to spoil it for them.
I'm not gonna spoil it. But
I want to ask questions, but I guess we'd have a spoiler.
I mean, I don't know if we have the video of Brandon getting dunked on, teed up, but I think the people would love to see that.
No, y'all don't.
Do we have that video? Possibly.
We don't. But I think we need to work on it.
Can we get that?
We should work on it. Yeah, we don't have to throw it today.
Guys, everyone in the chat right now, we have over 200 people in the chat starting off the show early with us. If you would like to see the video of Brandon Marshall getting posterized at LSU, just give me a in the chat real quick, and we will tee that video up. It was sensational. I saw it in 4K.
Okay, and if you're in the chat, you're one of the 200 in the chat, or all 200 in the chat, and you want to see me cook Angel in the shootout, we started at the free throw line, then we went to the perimeter, to three to top, and then we went half court.
Not as good.
Oh, word?
Half court. If you guys want to see that, it was a legendary.
It was legendary.
It was legendary. Then you guys give me a yo. Not a your. Ain't that what y'all say? Your.
No, but the chat wants to see it. I'm getting a lot of yours. I'm getting a lot of yours.
I thought I was going to get. You don't want to talk about what I'm wearing right now?
I see you have Bottega slides on. Yeah. And Gucci glasses, and of course, House of Athletes' finest athleisure.
Absolutely.
And let's not neglect to mention the Rollie on his arm. So you are what we like to call in the fashion world a combination of high-low today.
And I know you pointed out the shades already, but the shades are Gucci.
They are Gucci.
They do have the interlocking G's on them.
Hey,
it's giving Elton John.
You know what it is?
Rocket Man.
Well, you were around me the day I bought these glasses. Remember I ran into you at Miami
in the Design District.
I had like 20 pairs of glasses. It was my birthday. I treated myself
He
for my
had
birthday.
about, that's not an exaggeration. I mean, he had a bag. Went to Kith.
Right.
He had a bag. He sits down. He runs into me and one of my best friends, Anna, at Contessa in the design district. And, he sits down with us and he's like, you want to see what I got? And I'm like, sure. It was the never-ending bag of sunglasses. It was one after another, after another, after another. It was a spectacle.
So, yeah, it was a spectacle. What did they call these called?
Gucci.
No, specs.
Specs.
It was a spectacle with around specs. You guys talked about and everyone, thank you guys for, dealing with me. Like Kevin Hart said back in one of his specials back in the day, it's probably like 15 years ago. He said, my bullshit is your bullshit, right? Like, if we friends, my bullshit is your bullshit. Yeah. So you held it down for 20 minutes. 22 minutes, you held it down without me. How did you guys do?
We did great. We had an opportunity to discuss Angel Reese and that, sit down, and I said, and, jump in here with that. I said, I was so impressed, and I had the opportunity to tell her to, directly, obviously being a fan of her game, but watching her, in person and speaking to her in person and having the opportunity to have that conversation with her. I, said I was so impressed by how sure of herself she was at such a young age because, as I told her, I wasn't that girl.
Right.
I was very unsure of who I was, and I allowed a lot of people to dictate what I should be. And to have that composure and to have that confidence to not only live authentically and unapologetically at such a young age, but to do it on such a big stage, I was so impressed by her. And I'm such a fan, already was a fan, but even more of a fan, speaking to her. And she has a really sweet spirit about her. She's not, too big. She's not too small. She's a really sweet girl.
Yeah. You know what? I know this is when people are experiencing something, they're having a moment. You have to let them have a moment. Angel's having a moment right now, and it was beautiful to be able to be welcomed in that moment. The way she did, and Jennifer and the entire LSU family down there. They were so kind. I guess that's what they call the Southern hospitality. But I want to steal a little bit of the moment right now because to piggyback off of what you said, I don't think it's just women that struggle with the confidence, right? Like, I think it's also men as well that struggle with, being comfortable in their skin and figuring out who they are, right? So when we have these type of discussions on the biggest stages after the biggest moment, I definitely, think it helps, our women, but also I think men need to pay attention as well, right? Are you unapologetically you? Do you walk in the room as yourself, or do you shrink, or do you change, or do you code switch, right? Like, I look at her as someone that could potentially, not only lead women in sports, but also men. So it was pretty dope.
The only reason I say I focused more so on the women, and we spoke about this in the podcast, in the sit down with her, throughout various parts, is, men are often celebrated for certain things that women are chastised for. And I say that, when women are too confident, they come across as arrogant, or, when they're too confident in a business setting, they get labeled as being a bitch or a diva or difficult. And men are given passes. They're bosses. They're secure. They're about their business. And while I completely agree that men go through, struggling with their identity and, how to maneuver through this world just like women do, especially young men, I think that there's a different level of stress put on women because there's different labels attached to them for things that men don't have to deal with. So I don't want to negate from men's struggles either. Sure. It was a little bit of a different focus.
But no, and that's why I said I wanted to steal a little bit of the moment because should I be bringing up men right now? But I just wanted to say, like, yo, men, stop acting so macho and so tough because we struggle with confidence as well.
Mental health, all of that.
All of those things. Yeah. I heard you guys talking about, did you guys talk about the business of
we were getting into that when you walked in. Corey played the clip about how she was making X amount before you tried digging in her pocket, sir. NIL, and he asked me, like, how do I feel about the NIL, what it would do for college athletes, and I said that it's going to be monumental for women because men still are in a position to make a lot more money when they go pro.
Right.
And women, unfortunately, that wage gap has not been addressed.
I brought that back up because, you know, you're talking about confidence. You're talking about, you know, the way we approach women, the way versus our men. I was reading a study actually as I was walking in, a Purdue study. They looked at
Purdue University?
The disparity at Purdue University. They looked at the disparity in the inequalities from the men's sports versus women. And one of the challenges is how we sexualize our women athletes. They deal with things that we don't have to deal with. They even went as far as peeling back the layers on the promotional ads that we put out there. Men are put in power positions and women are in a more passive position, meaning like a dude might be dunking and making a wild face that feels authentic and it integrates well into the sport. Women may be sexualized and sat back to just be pretty. So those are some of the challenges as well. I think the problem, you know, I love business. You know, I love talking about media. We're in this new media age. The challenge is the disparity in media coverage, right? And I also went through this Purdue study as I was driving in. It was really interesting to me to prepare for this. Do you know that less than 5% of all sports coverage is actually, you know, captured? It's actually for women's sports, if I'm saying this correctly. So out of all of the sports coverage out there, the women's sports make up 5% of all of it. And if you take away women's soccer, it goes down to 3%, right? And it's not only a challenge in the coverage, but it's the quality of coverage too. Turn on a men's track and field meet versus a women's. Turn on a men's March Madness versus women's March Madness. Turn on NBA versus WNBA. Now, WNBA has gotten it better over the years, but even the quality. Another interesting thing that popped out in this study, Ashley, was how we pick and choose who we want to cover and when, right? And it really is a problem not only for men but also women. Men, 70% of men only want to watch men sports. But this was interesting. What do you think the number is for women? 72% of women want mixed. They don't want only men. They don't want only women. They want mixed. So that is the challenge, is how we actually approach our women's sports. You look at March Madness. March Madness has been March Madness for men for forever. We just dropped women's March Madness a year ago, right? So I think the disparity and the challenges starts in the media world. And until we solve that problem, we're not going to see this gap close anytime soon. You got to go back to 1972 when Title IX was launched. And then you started to see us slowly get there, right? But Steph Curry is shooting from three, you know, let's say 10 years ago. Now Steph Curry's down there shooting and Dame Lillard's shooting from the half-court line. So there's a skill thing too. Can we see that in women's sports? Men are dunking. How many women are dunking? So there's not only the coverage, but there's also...
dunk.
Yeah, but I'm saying is...
I will say this. If you are, I mean, as someone who's a true... And when you said mixed sports, you meant like women want to see both men and women
Correct. Like,
sports.
yeah, you want to see both. Like, you watch both, right?
I watch
like
both.
You watch both the March Madness, women's and men's,
yeah,
right?
I watch WNBA, NBA.
Right.
Yeah.
And most women do.
Well, I will say that, you know, as a true basketball
Hold on, I need to do
fan,
something before you move forward. April Fool's, guys, like, you didn't notice, Ashley, you're going to be very disappointed in me. I came in, I said Jill Biden's going to Zoom in and have this conversation with us on my Instagram account. So everybody who came over to watch paper round. Wow. April Fool's, is it too late to have an April Fool's moment?
It's April 5th, so.
I know, but is it too late? Technically, is it too late?
4
Like,
days too
can
late.
I not do it? Can you not get like a little grace period, a little week? Let me do this. Let me tell these people on Instagram.
I don't think that's how that counts. It's not like, it's not like New Year when you say Happy New Year and you get like a week after New Year's Eve to like tell people Happy New Year. April Fool's is like a 24-hour window.
Okay, let me do this.
I don't really know you can do that.
Hey guys, this is Brandon Marshall reporting live again from Paper Route Studios with Ashley Nicole Moss and Corey Holmes. I just want to say I'm super sorry because I April Fools you guys on April 5th. It's April 4th or 5th?
The 5th.
It's the 5th.
So April Fools. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
They still need to watch though.
Yeah, right. Stay locked in.
And if you're here and you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. All right, now you get back.
Well, I'll say, as someone who's a true basketball fan, and has watched both the NBA and WNBA, the special thing about the W is that, there's not a lot of dunking, there's not a lot of showboating like we get in the NBA. It's not a lot of that glitz and that highlight reel stuff that's happening. But if you're a true basketball head, you really enjoy the game because it's the fundamentals, because that's all they can rely on. Right. They're playing basketball in the purest form possible. There's not a lot of, the extraness. It's just true fundamental basketball 101. And any true basketball fan has to appreciate that. I mean, I've watched the Liberty play.
Yeah, but that's y'all a small population, though.
That's what I'm saying, though. I think that there's this ideology that the W puts out an inferior product because you don't get that highlight reel craziness that you see or the spectacle that you get when you watch the men play. Right. And there's a lot of reasons for that you can have a full-blown conversation about. But if you really just enjoy the game and slam dunks and all that other stuff doesn't really make or break the game of basketball for you, you thoroughly enjoy watching the women play because they're playing the game in the purest form. I mean, what we watched when we watched LSU and Iowa play, it was a drastically better product than UConn and San Diego State. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was a drastically better product. And then I've watched NBA games, WNBA games in the same day and have done comparisons in my head like that game was not nearly as good as the Sparks Liberty game.
But we had this conversation yesterday, Ashley, with Angel, okay? And you and I are on opposite ends of the spectrum around this conversation. The drama surrounding Angel, LSU, Iowa, Jill Biden, Caitlin Clark is good for the sport of basketball. Why? Because we love the drama. Sports is nothing but a drama. Like, think about it. If you had to put sports in a genre, what would it be? Is it a thriller? Is it a drama? Is it a comedy?
It's a dramedy.
It's a dramedy.
A dramedy.
I like that. There you go. It's a dramedy. Sports is a dramedy. So I'm saying that because when you think about drama, we like the drama, the storylines. Aaron Rodgers. We like following Lamar Jackson. We like seeing, what's going to happen with Caitlin, how she's going to respond. Jill Biden, how she's going to respond. That's drama. But then from, when you talk about entertainment standpoint, like we like hard hits in football. We love the dancing. We love all of the entertainment outside of the game. So when we say the skill, there is that gap to me is closing quicker than the pay gap. Like you have Caitlyn Jenner now, they're saying she could be Steph Curry. Like think about that.
Caitlyn
Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark. I love everybody, but look, Caitlin Clark, right? Like more of that. Like I think we should be more strategic on those type of things. Like I feel like our women in sports, they have the skill to do it, but they're out there just, like you said, they're just playing the game and they're playing it at a high level. They're dunking, they're doing all those things. But what I'm saying is like, I want to see more Caitlin Clark shooting from half court. That's what captured everybody. Right. Like, damn, do you see what she's doing? You see she's shooting from the damn volleyball line, the volleyball court line. Like, do you see that? If there's more of that, I feel men and women will tune in more to our women's sports, which means means the bag gets bigger because a lot of this money comes from what? Our TV rights.
Yep. And I know the chat's like, what do you mean the WNBA's fundamental basketball? What is she talking about? If you don't believe...
Why you in the chat?
Hold on. If you don't believe me, listen to Chris Paul. He said the same thing. If you don't believe me, listen to Kevin Durant. He said the same thing. If you don't believe me, listen to LeBron James. He said the same thing. He says those women are playing the game the way the game truly is played in its purest form. So that's just not an Ashley take. That is a take by some of the greatest NBA players currently playing the game right now, that the women play the game in true fundamental pure basketball because that is all that they have to play it in.
So is there
don't just come for me. Keep that same energy for CP3 and KD, okay?
So let me ask you this question. Is there an argument that the women's game is better than the men's game? You have Dame Lillard that comes out 3 weeks ago and he says, I don't know how much longer I can do this. This is not fun to me, right? Like, dudes is load management, dudes switching up. Oh, let me go chase this, go chase that. So is there an argument that the women's product is better than the men's product? I wouldn't
say it's better. I would say it's pure. I don't, and that depends on what basketball and how you rate basketball. If you're somebody who likes the dunks and the extraness and stuff, then no, the NBA is a superior product for you.
Right.
If you're somebody who truly watches the 101s and the fundamentals of the game, then you find both the WNBA and the NBA great products because you're watching it from a different lens. It depends on the basketball watcher. And not everybody's the same type of like not everyone's a basketball purist.
Right.
Some people are just strictly in for the entertainment. So it really depends on how you view the game.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think the biggest takeaway from this is the point that you made earlier, right, Brandon? It's just the quality of coverage.
Yep.
Caitlin Clark, she averaged 28 points the whole season, right? She was shooting deep threes the entire season. Why wasn't that just being covered? Angel Reese, she had 34 double-doubles. She's been doing this all season, right? Like, just where's the coverage on it? So I think that's, I'd say, the biggest takeaway. And I'm feeling very optimistic about the future of women's sports for sure.
Yeah.
But next,
it's going to take all of us. It's going to take all of us to participate.
It is. Yeah, no, it is.
Participating.
Yeah. Moving on. Yo, we have to revisit the MVP talk. Why? Because Joel Embiid, I mean, I don't want to say he solidified himself.
Say it.
I think he solidified himself last night with his 52-point performance over the Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics, they were second place. They were actually 0-3 against the Boston Celtics in their season series, got the dub last night, right? Embiid, he got, again, 52 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists. Ashley, I got to start with you.
Yeah, start with her.
Yeah, because I think I know your answer. Is Joel Embiid running away with the MVP award?
Start with her.
I mean, for me, it's still Jokic. I mean,
my God.
Hold on.
Jokic?
If Embiid wins it, I'm not mad at it. I think that they're neck and neck. I think it's between them two. I don't think there's anybody else in the running at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think you can say Jason Tatum at this
or Giannis.
point.
You know, they're bringing up Giannis a lot.
I don't know if you can put
Ashley Nicole Moss. Okay, I'll say this, all right, and I might get in trouble if I was on ESPN FS1. You're a beautiful young lady.
Why are you so low?
Because this is what you just did. That take just dropped me to the ground. You're beautiful, but the thing that is brilliant about you is your intellect, is how smart you are. How dare you come out here and give these people this? Ashley, you're one of the best in the business talking basketball, and you're going to stand by him. I'm going to stand beside him. You're going to stand by Joker right now.
I'm looking at the season as a whole.
Oh, my God.
Which is what the MVP award technically is, the regular season award from start to finish.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
leading score. That's not enough for you.
What happened?
Leading score in points per game.
I'm not. Okay, listen.
She's losing credibility.
Here's the thing. I'm not mad if I'm not gonna move my needle just because of a few games. I've been on the Jokic train. I'm gonna stay on the Jokic train. I'm not mad if Embiid wins it though. I have said from the beginning it's between them two. I don't think Giannis is in the running. I don't think Jason Tatum's in the running. It is between Jokic and Embiid. Yeah. Do I think that this last few weeks have given Embiid a slight edge over Jokic? Absolutely. Do I think that the slight edge is going to be enough to override what Jokic has done this entire season? I don't know. Would I be mad if Embiid won it? No. What he did last night was extremely impressive. What Jokic has done all season is extremely impressive.
Agreed.
So this MVP talk, first of all, I don't think I've ever discussed an MVP race this long, this extensive in my entire career. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
Now, Embiid, some people can say Embiid should have won it last season, injury and things like that, because he, whatever. I'll say Embiid's making a hell of a case these last few weeks. I'll say that. I'll leave it there.
Brandon, what's your take?
I'll leave it there. But I'm gonna stick with Jokic. I'm not gonna jump shit just because.
We got Ashley with Jokic.
I'm not gonna jump shit.
Who you got?
I think the whole league's trying to figure that out right now. Celtics guard Derek White said when asked how to stop Embiid. So if you got any ideas, I think every other NBA team would like to know.
What?
I'm just talking about what other guys.
I've heard the same quote about Jokic. What does that mean?
Embiid showing was one of the most historical outings that we've ever seen in the NBA, as he became the first player in the shot clock era to score more than half of his team's points and shoot 80% from the field, and join Wilt Chamberlain as the only player to record at least 50 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists while shooting 80% from the field. This man came out there last year. You know what I love about this, Corey? Because I'm going to come back up and talk to you. Ashley, right? She losing it. She losing
I'm not losing
She losing me. Well, now you know
if
you losing me.
If you take Embiid off his team, is that
you know what?
Still a playoff team? Are they still a playoff team?
Can I have my take?
I'm just asking you a question real quick.
I gave you the room to talk.
No, but I have a question for you, real quick. If you take Embiid off the team, or Embiid's availability, say only half the season, is that still? Are the Sixers still in the playoffs?
What's your question again? Because
if you take Embiid, off of the Sixers for let's say half the season, are the Sixers still in the playoffs?
It's gonna be hard.
Are they still in the playoffs? Though?
They might be in the play, and they're not a good team. I know what you're trying to go right there. They're not a good team.
I'm just simply saying.
So James Harden's gonna lead the way.
I'm just asking.
James Harden's gonna lead the way.
I'm just asking a question.
No, the answer is no.
Okay, that's your answer. I'm just asking a question.
Listen, this is what he said, Corey, and everybody laughed at the man, and I kind of did too, because he went too far. He said, "I'm Shaquille O'Neal and Akeem Olajuwon. Can't stop this man." Here's the thing. The reason why it's crazy and everybody laughed at him is because of two things. His availability, he hasn't played a lot over his career, and two, he hasn't won a championship. If this dude wins a championship and he continues to play like he did last night, I think he played, almost 40 minutes and went off, right? And now you have to, he wants to continue to chase awards. You got to play 65 games at least in the new collective bargaining agreement, right? Yeah. So if this dude does this over the next 5 years, he can easily be in a discussion as one of the most dominant, not bigs in the game, but players that ever played. This dude is next level. We're talking about Shaq wasn't shooting like he was shooting, like how he's shooting. Like not even Olajuwon. And Olajuwon was nice. Olajuwon was one of those players that kind of brought something different to the game. Steph Curry, how he's shooting the ball. Allen Iverson, the crossover. There comes a time where there's a player that kind of brings something different. Even James Harden, that little damn step back thing they call. What they call that little move they do that I did yesterday on them in LSU? Remember the little shot I hit? You remember?
I don't.
You know,
I do not recall.
Embiid is like, I don't know, man.
Nah,
what was the final score of that game, Corey?
I don't know. What? Oh, you talking about what game?
Last night's game.
Let me confirm that. It was a close game though. It was definitely close.
It was you heard what you just said?
Here she goes. She always.
It was a close.
It was 103 to 101.
It was the 76ers won by 2 points, and Joel Embiid dropped 50+ points.
Who did they play?
The Boston Celtics.
I know.
So why does that matter?
But what I'm saying is, think about what you're saying for a second. Jokic, and again, I'm not mad if either wins the award. I think if you look at the entirety of the season, Jokic has done a lot with a little. The Denver Nuggets have not moved from that number 1 seed the entire year. Do you know how difficult that is? Is to stay to the top of the standings the entire NBA season. And for all intensive purposes, yes, there's Aaron Gordon and there's other guys on the team. Jokic has done that for all intensive purposes, single-handedly.
Can I ask a question?
Really?
The 76ers are a more talented basketball team.
Debatable. Debatable.
Than the Denver Nuggets?
Let's go.
I could say talented, but complete, though, the Nuggets got a more complete team.
Yeah, James
but
Harden.
one-on-one?
But completion will beat every single time. What are we talking about?
We need production. James Harden.
They are producing. What do you mean?
James Harden been producing all year?
I think that's the
I'm
difference.
not negating that, but that's what I'm saying is the 76ers are a more talented team. When you look at overall completion, yes, the Denver Nuggets are a more complete team, but they're not complete with the same level of talent that the 76ers are. So when you start looking at this MVP conversation, again, not negating what Embiid has done these last few weeks, it's extremely impressive, but you still have to look at the entirety of a season. What Jokic has been able to do, averaging triple doubles the way that he has this entire season from beginning to end, the Denver Nuggets have not slid in the standings all year. To do that basically single-handedly on a team that's not nearly as talented as what the 76ers had, you cannot overlook that. Okay. I'm not saying that that makes him the front runner, but you cannot, for me, he's the front runner. Okay. Is it a close race? Yes, and you cannot overlook that because of 2 weeks, 3 weeks of what Embiid's doing.
Okay, and this is what I'll say, and I know Ashley's going to want to respond to it because she always
does.
I'm not. We should be going to the next.
I'm not. You got the last point on this. That's my point. Yep. That's my point.
And here's my last take on this. Is Joel Embiid running away with the MVP award? Not only that question is even wrong. He's been an MVP for the last 2 years. So you're talking about it's hard to stay at the number 1 seed all year. You know what else is hard, Ashley? To be a big and lead the NBA in scoring for 2 years in a row and have your team in the top 5 in the Eastern Conference. That is hard. Look, you can't talk. You said you wasn't going to respond. You can't respond. I might take 5 minutes and then finish this take. No, I'm just playing, Corey. But that is the final take. Joel Embiid, congratulations. Ashley is going to send you flowers. She's going to send you a handwritten note. She's going to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Joel. You know, I just thought, like everybody else, that Joker was going to hold it down. And he didn't. He imploded. And when we went head to head, guess what happened? I dropped 42 and he didn't do anything. And you know what?
Didn't he not?
You can't. No, Ashley. Can we get a 2-box? Can we get a 2-box right now? Oh, I'll take the 3-box too. Ashley, get in the screen. Mm-hmm. You said you just.
I'm not gonna say a word.
You're a woman of your word.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Right, and that's what I love about you.
I'm not gonna say a word.
You stand on.
I'm not gonna say a word.
Right. So Corey, you know, we come on this show. We're in week 6. We did some amazing things. We fly out to LSU. And we get Angel Reese. She said, I'm going to sit down with Ashley Nicole Moss and Brandon Marshall and Corey in the cut first, in the paper route team. We have Shador Sanders, Shador Sanders, come on, in studio. We're doing some amazing things.
Absolutely.
Legendary. When we started this show, though, and I think it was the first week, Ashley Nicole Moss came out and said, it's not even close. Ashley Nicole Moss said, the Joker is going to run away with this. Then Stack came on a week later as our basketball contributor and said, it's going to be Tatum. And I said, it's Joel Embiid. So I just want to bask in celebration right now with my nice Gucci frames on in sunny South Florida. But we can move on now. And Ashley did a good job using your meditation skills and finding your breath just to let me have the final take. Thank you so much, Ashley Nicole Moss.
I'm weak. All right, moving on. We got a huge matchup tonight, right? And almost actually didn't happen because the Lakers snuck out of Utah with a win last night, right? But it was the help of the heroics of LeBron James in the final moments of overtime that lifted the lifted the Lakers past the Utah Jazz. LeBron finished with 37 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, and like I mentioned, with the final bucket, you know, in overtime, he had a chance to seal the game at the end of regulation, but it's whatever. He left the heroics to the end of overtime. But again, last night was super important because their game on the road, and I throw up air quotes, on the road with the Clippers, even though it's in the same stadium, will basically determine the 6th seed in the West, right? And the loser of this game could potentially fall as low as the play-in or even out of the playoffs. So, like, this game, again, super important. Why also? Because both teams have the Suns on their schedule to end the season. So if you lose tonight, you could potentially lose 2 of the last 3 games of the season, which would not be good. Lakers, Clippers, who wins tonight? What's the outcome? Ashley, who you got?
Man, I wish Paul George was in the mix. I'm leaning towards the Clippers only because what the Lakers did against Utah was they used a whole lot of gas, and a back-to-back after a performance like that is very tough. Even the Clippers without Paul George, they have a nice team. They can go ahead and give some issues. But again, a back-to-back after a performance like that, coming down to the wire, over 100 points, then you have to travel to LA. I know it's not that long of a flight, but getting on a flight, getting off a flight takes a lot out of your body. I'm going to go ahead and lean towards the Clippers are winning this one. The Lakers are going to lose tonight.
Wow.
Yeah.
Listen, it's definitely a toss-up here. Kawhi has been playing solid, and I'm assuming he's going to play, right?
I mean, if he doesn't, obviously I'm going with the Lakers.
Right. But it's King James, man.
But we don't even know. LeBron might not play tonight.
Why wouldn't he play?
Because it's a back-to-back, and we're approaching the playoffs.
But everything's on the line.
I mean, play-in, playoffs. Like I mean, yes and no, but you got to think long-term.
Okay, so let me.
I'm not saying he's official, but I'm saying there's a possibility because they're thinking long-term.
Right,
and he is fresh off an injury.
And I understand it can go any way. That could be the strategy. Also, the strategy can be, look, we got a couple games left. Let's get after it and let's improve our positioning as best as we can. I think both LeBron and AD played over 35, 36 minutes.
That's another thing.
Right? And Corey, did you say in our production meeting that AD's never ever in his career?
There's been not ever this season. So this season there's been 3 scenarios. There's been 3 scenarios where they've had back-to-backs, and all 3 AD sat out the second night of a back-to-back. They're in the second night of a back-to-back, and it's the most important game of the season. Like I mentioned, they could potentially fall out of the playoffs if they lose tonight.
Corey, listen. They play again. I just think that AD and LeBron is going to try to get as many reps as possible together. LeBron was out for extended time, actually shorter. Everybody thought it was going to be longer with the ankle. They need to gel. AD's been in and out of the lineup all year. So I think they're looking at this as those practice reps before they get into the playoffs or the play-in. So I like the Lakers because Braun is sitting here saying, I'm going to go get 5. Can I potentially squeak out a 5th ring? It's going to be – Ashley, and this is it. That's all I have to say about this. This is going to be a phenomenal NBA playoffs. Phenomenal. It's going to be exciting. Probably one of the best we've ever seen.
I can go.
I have a hard time believing that after playing AD and LeBron 30-plus minutes last night, that game coming down to the wire, over 100 points, having to travel back to Los Angeles, what being on a flight does to your body. Again, I know it's a short flight, retrospect. With the playoffs, the play-in approaching, LeBron fresh off an injury, AD, being inconsistent and dealing with a plethora of injuries, whether big or small, all season. I have a hard time believing that the Lakers are going to play them both. And if they do play them both, I have a hard time believing they're going to give you a substantial amount of minutes. Yeah, but you got to think long term.
With the season potentially on the line, though.
Right. No, but
you don't really want to be in that play-in.
No, they'll fall into the play-in. They'll fall into like the 7th or 8th seed.
But would you rather have the 6th seed locked in? Or would you rather be in the play-in scenario? I wouldn't want to do that.
Obviously you want, I don't know. Like, I have a hard time thinking someone who hasn't played a back-to-back all season is all of a sudden going to play one. Especially someone who's injury-prone and inconsistent like AD. Russell Westbrook's looking for revenge tonight. Like, I
forgot about that.
I don't know. I gotta go with the Clippers. It's just there's too many variables.
So how much you betting on this game?
I'm not.
We're gonna get Ashley. We're gonna get Ashley a bookie.
I gotta. I don't know. I gotta leave. There's too many variables for the Lakers. I gotta go with the Clippers. I'm sticking with that one.
All right.
And who you got tonight, Brandon?
Oh, I went with the Lakers.
You got the Lakers?
Damn, I forgot Russell Westbrook was over there, and he's playing.
Yeah.
He's looking for revenge. He's coming. He wants to smoke.
I'm still gonna go with Braun though.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
And I'm not like a huge Braun fan like that either.
Yeah.
I love Braun, but I'm not like, Shannon Sharp.
Yeah. All right, we'll see. But all right, how about we transition to our Fact or Foolish segment?
Let's do it.
Let's hop into it. So remember, I'm going to read you guys a statement. You determine whether it's fact or foolish and give your explanation why. So to start it off, should the Colts trade for Lamar Jackson? Well, actually, let me word that for fact or foolish. Colts trade for Lamar Jackson, fact or foolish?
Want me to start? Fact. The Colts should trade for Lamar Jackson. The Falcons should trade for Lamar Jackson. The Patriots should trade for Lamar Jackson. Let's keep going.
Let's keep going. The Dolphins got Tua.
The Dolphins should trade.
Oh, no, for Tua.
The Dolphins should trade for Lamar Jackson.
The Commanders should trade for Lamar
Jackson.
The
Commanders.
Actually, no. I don't want him in my division. I can't deal with that. I got enough issues.
All right, let's keep going. Who else?
I mean, I don't know who else is looking for a QB right now off the top of my head.
The Texans.
The Titans.
The Carolina Panthers.
The Titans.
The Titans. Yeah, they're looking for
if you don't have a quarterback, you should should trade for Lamar Jackson. You should pick Lamar Jackson over anybody in the draft. Fact. Did we answer that together?
Yeah, right. I think that was like a consensus. That it was just fact. All right, next one, guys. Anthony Richardson is a top 5 draft pick. Fact or foolish?
Fact. I don't need to go into further detail. Watch his highlights, watch his tape, watch his combine. The answer's fact.
I talked to a general manager 2 weeks ago about. Actually, he was responding to a debate we had, Ashley, and he basically agreed with you. Oh, you got to see Ashley's face. What was the debate that we had? This is actually fact because I know. Let me answer the question. This is fact. We had a debate. Oh, it was about Deshaun Watson contract. Remember, we were going back and forth about Deshaun Watson, and you tried to twist up my words. You ended up helping me twist my words.
I didn't twist them. I just reiterated.
Basically, this general manager, he sent me the post of you absolutely cooking me on the Deshaun Watson conversation, and he said, you get drafted off of potential. You get paid off of production. There's quarterbacks that they're more productive in college than this kid and should be drafted higher. But when you look at him and his potential, he can easily go number 1. Mm-hmm. Like, this is a freak. This is Lamar Jackson. This is Cam Newton. This is Josh Allen. Potentially all in one. Mm-hmm. That's who he is. It's unbelievable. Even when athletes do backflips and do all of the other stuff, like, that shows their ability. Some people look at it, oh, that's cool, right? We go in the hood all the time and we see these little project babies flipping all the time. Well, I'm from the projects a little bit, right?
No, I'm just laughing because it's like the random. It's such a random analogy.
It is. It's like because you see it all the time. Like my nephew the other day, little project baby from Atlanta. He's going to UCF as a freshman. He just did a backflip. I was like, damn, I didn't know you know how to flip. But it makes sense to me. He's a freak athlete, like Odell Beckham Jr. He does freakish things with his body, and so when you see that, it's like, man, this kid can do whatever with his body. The game is 80% mental. So for someone like this with all this potential, if he goes to the right situation, and he has the right coach, right people around him, and he's actually coachable, man, he could see himself 10 years from now having an amazing career.
What's the right situation for him?
The right situation for a kid like this, I like the, and I hate to say this because everybody just go with the trends, but I came up in the Shanahan philosophy in offense, right? And that's like that's West Coast, but then they also do keeper game. What's keeper game? Where they do these stretch runs where the quarterback runs all the way to the right and he hands it off and the running back's hitting the 8-hole or right off the edge on the right or to the left. And then they do the same thing, but the quarterback keeps it. He boots to the other side. And then they got a big post coming this way, a deep comeback this way, a over route coming that way, like just big play action. Because when your running game is going and you have these cutbacks, the linebackers, everybody sucks up, pause, and then the receivers and tight ends are able to get behind that second level. Actually, I feel like I gotta say it now. Yeah. You hit me with a pause a couple weeks ago, and then Cam and his show. It is what it is. Shout out to Killer Cam, man, and Mace, man, the gods, man, like doing a phenomenal job. It's the best sports show out cooking right now, but I would say it's debatable. It might be debatable after the week we had, but. They say pause. They say pause after every damn sentence.
Did you see what?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Did you see what Cameron said about Pat Bev?
What did he say? Oh man, what did he say?
Pat Bev on his podcast said that he doesn't have sex before games. And Cameron.
What happened?
I'm already knowing this crazy. I actually gotta hear this.
Yo,
he said, I'm gonna paraphrase it because I'm not gonna say it the way Cam said it because he from Harlem and he's just different out there.
Right.
But he basically said, so Pat Bev on his podcast that he has with an entity that shall remain nameless, said that he doesn't have sex before games. And Cameron on his show he's talking about the situation, and he goes, Pat, you averaging 6 points a game, man. Go get laid.
I knew it. That's crazy. He said,
but he said it in a more like a Harlem raunchy way. I was in tears. I was cracking up. Cameron, I love you. Never changed, man. Never changed.
Yo, Ashley, do you think their show's going to work?
I think it works with the audience it works with. I think that not everything is for the traditional audience. I think there are people, and this show is evident, and I Am Athlete as a brand is evident, that people are looking for sports in a way that doesn't feel so structured, that feels like when you're hanging out with your friends, this is how you talk about it. When you're hanging out with, people that, you work with, this is how you talk about it. And I think that Cam is reporting in sports in a very East Coast New York way. And to be honest, like being from New York City and having homies from the city, that's how they talk about sports, and it resonates with them. So not everything's for everyone, but I think it works for them. Right. I think it has its own little audience, and that's what's up.
Listen, shout out to Killer Cam and Mace, and it is what it is. Y'all make sure y'all follow them. But I have to say this to my brothers, Stat Baby is the best thing on the show. So Cam, all his sound bites, Mace, I love Mace. Mace is tough. We know Cam's tough. Mace tough. He's unexpected, right? But Stat Baby, she has the most potential. I love Stat Baby. Have you seen Stat Baby in the show? All right, shout out to them. We can move on.
All right, y'all. For y'all next one, Tennessee Titans trade up into the top 5 and draft a quarterback. Fact or foolish?
I'm gonna go fact. Rand is the new general manager there. Rand, phenomenal, I would say, path, right? He comes from that. Bill, his father was a legend and well respected. His father, Bill Parcells, extremely close. Bill Parcells brought Rand in the family as well. It was just natural. Rand has that Bill Parcells type of vibe, but he's so relatable. I mean, I think he's one of the most dynamic leaders I've ever interacted with because he's relatable, but he also has vision. He has strategy. He also has this type of energy around him that guys fall in line. And that's really hard when guys are making 10, 20, 30, $40 million a year to follow a coach or a general manager. When Rand walks in the room, the temperature changes. It's like, who's that guy? So I say all that because Rand's a smart guy. I believe Rand knows he has a couple years to get it done, right? Because you don't get 3, 4, 5 years to turn the team around. This is tough for me because I can see him making a move here, but I can also see Rand building a phenomenal team. Those Parcells teams, they built from inside out. Look at the damn San Francisco 49ers offensive line. They go get Big Trent. He's the best player in the NFL. Defensive line, the best defensive line in the business the last few years. So I can see him doing that and sticking with Ryan Tannehill. I'm going to actually say foolish, and I'm sorry I was so long-winded, Ashley. I'm going to say foolish. Rand doubles down on Ryan Tannehill, and he built a phenomenal team.
That's all right.
He was just in San Francisco. They did it with Garoppolo.
Jimmy G. Hey, Jimmy.
Yep.
What's your answer?
Yeah, effective fools, Ashley.
Hey,
Hi, Jimmy.
Jimmy G.
Listen, my Italian family would be so happy for me if I brought Jimmy G home.
Would you bring him home?
Jimmy G is very handsome. He's super handsome. He is like, he's the Italian stallion for sure.
If Jimmy G...
and that is not normally my type, but he is very handsome.
If Jimmy G asked you out on a date, would you go?
Absolutely. I think Jimmy G is hot.
All right, we're going to set that up.
No. I'm not going to date him, but like...
Why? If you don't have to date him, but you go on a date. It's a difference. Go on a date with Jimmy G, and it might turn into dating.
I don't think I have enough... what's the word I'm looking for?
Gravitas?
No, I don't think... I've seen photos of the women that Jimmy likes to surround himself with, and I don't think I'm have enough stuff.
Busty? That's crazy.
I don't think I have enough
Just
stuff.
saying, we're on YouTube.
Yeah,
You're not.
I don't have enough, busts for Jimmy G.
You don't know. You don't know what guys are into. Like we don't know that. I think that you and Jimmy G going out on a date will be
I'm not
time
going on
well
a date with
spent.
Jimmy G.
Time well spent, you and Jimmy G. Like, why not? Like, even if y'all just become great friends.
It sounds like he really about to make this happen for you.
I'm just joking. I'm
we
not
clip
going
that?
on a
Can
date
we
with Jimmy G.
clip that?
Corey, move it along.
Can we
Really make
clip
this
that and
happen
put
for
that
you.
out?
Move it along.
All right, so before this next statement, got to give a little bit of context. Right now, according to Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk, Bill Belichick, head coach of the New England Patriots, said that he had shopped Mac Jones to multiple teams this offseason. Right? It is said that the Raiders, Texans, Buccaneers, and Commandos are all potential landing spots for Jones. So, guys, fact or foolish? And Brandon, I'll start with you.
No, hold on. Start with me real quick.
You want to start with? Okay,
I want this one real
I'll
quick.
start with Ashley. Okay. Patriots trade Mac Jones before offseason concludes. Fact or foolish?
Here's my question. If this is true, that he has allegedly been shopping Mac Jones around, that would mean that he does not see in Mac Jones what they saw in him in the beginning. Remember, in the beginning, everyone was saying he was going to be the successor to Tom Brady. It was Tom Brady 2.0, and Belichick found his guy, and the dynasty's going to restart. Okay, cool. Didn't happen. Obviously, you're shopping him. You don't see the vision anymore. Yeah. Lamar Jackson is unhappy in Baltimore. He wants out. Why is it that you're not even sitting down and talking with him? If you're so not in love with Mac Jones, you're going to trade him to get who? Exactly. Yeah. Like, Lamar's there. Have a conversation with the man. I don't understand the rationale. I don't understand the thinking. You're unhappy, allegedly, with your QB. The QB that you were in part responsible for bringing to New England. That's the vision's no longer there. You're no longer seeing it. Lamar's available. He's unhappy. And you don't even have the conversation. I don't know, Brandon. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
Listen, you hit it on the head, and I don't need to, I don't need to double down here. It doesn't make sense, like Ashley said. Maybe it's just Bill Belichick being Bill Belichick right now. He doesn't want to give us anything. He knows Lamar Jackson's special, and he knows he needs a quarterback, and this confirms it. Come on, man. I actually would love to see Lamar Jackson in a Patriots uniform. This would be phenomenal. You already have Meek Mills hitting up Kraft and saying, look, Lamar, I think that's what he said. I don't want to.
No, he said it was Meek hit up Robert Kraft and said that if Lamar's available, so it's not direct quote, if Lamar's available, we should go get him. And then Robert Kraft said, that would be Bill Belichick's call.
No, I thought Meek said Lamar said he would it.
And that he's special and all these things. And Robert Kraft confirmed that he agrees with that, but said that ultimately he would love Lamar on the Patriots, but that's Bill Belichick's call. That he's not going to make that call. Like, that's a loose interpretation of what was said.
All right, guys, we're gonna move into the NBA. So for your next one, Luka leaves the Dallas Mavericks next season. Fact or foolish?
Hold on, rewind for a second. We have a question for you,
we got a
Brandon.
question? All right.
Someone wants to know if they tried that type of quarterback before with Cam Newton, why would they be willing to try again with Lamar Jackson?
Interesting. That's a good question.
Maybe it went that bad. They're like, we don't want to do it again. No, I'm just playing. Totally different situations. Cam, I love you. We had you on the show, and we had this tense conversation. And I do believe what Cam said recently, like, look, I didn't have the time I needed to really learn, everything. It's a tough offense. I was in that offense. Lamar Jackson's still in his prime, right? There's an argument that he's entering his prime.
What's prime in football years? I know it's different in basketball, football, obviously.
So prime is really when you enter. Some guys they're in their primes when they enter if their mind is there. It's more so the prime is when your mind say do this, right? Like I'm gonna make this move. I see I got to spin. Then this dude's gonna be here. Then I'm gonna come back with the right. When your mind say do that and your body can accomplish it, that's your prime, right? The game is slowed down. All right, I see this. I'm jogging out of the huddle. Oh shit, I seen this before. It's cover 3. The safety's tilting this way, so that means 80% of the time when he's tilting this way, he's gonna shoot here. So this corner is gonna jump here. Now I got exactly what I want. I see that the game is slow. So now instead of me going da 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 da, now I'm just going bam, I'm off, and now I got the production that I want. So when I know it's a crazy answer, and I do this from time to time, Ashley. So bear with me. Prime for me, and I answered it already, but I want to be clear here. Prime is when your mind tell your body to do something and it can do it, right? Because there's a lot of players as you age, that's why quarterbacks are able to stay around as long as they are. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, the Ryan Fitzpatricks of the world, because the game is so slow. Before they even break the huddle, they know what the defense is doing. Oh, shit. We're in the first quarter. We're on the fringe area. It's first down, or let's say it's 2nd and 7. This team in this situation, they go blitz, blah, whatever percent of the time, and they know exactly where they're going with the ball. It's all mental. For a quarterback, you enter your prime a little later. For most guys like wide receivers or running backs, it's those first 5-6 years, right? You gotta get to your prime as quickly as possible. But a quarterback like Lamar, he's finally getting there. Remember, Patrick Mahomes won a championship, and he said, "What? I'm just learning how to read coverages," and he just won a Super Bowl. So I don't know what the question was, but
my question was what is prime years in football? Right. But you answered it. So
we were talking about Lamar, right?
Well, one of the questions in the chat was, the Patriots tried that type of quarterback with Cam Newton. It failed. Why would they go with Lamar Jackson?
Right. So. And then shout out to Miss Pamela Garvin out there. I don't know if she's still watching the show, but she says she loves us. And that makes me happy. That makes me smile. Behind the scenes, we laugh a lot, but we also fight a lot. And then on camera, we laugh a lot, and we haven't fought a lot. I thought we would fight more on camera. We don't fight a ton on camera. We've had one slug fest.
What was that with the NIL?
No, that one you kind of laid back and did that thing. I hate when you do that, by the way.
What?
I hate when I go on these rants and they're you leave gap in between. And I shouldn't be saying this because I feel like you're going to do it more. But I hate when I say something, I'm passionate about it. Joel Embiid said this, Lamar Jackson, and then you just do this thing, you just sit and look. It's like, yo, it's your time to speak.
I'm not going to say nothing.
You make me look even worse. You do know what you're doing. Look, she know what she doing.
The intention there.
She know what she doing.
I be chilling. Go ahead, Corey.
And that's what she say after this awkward silence.
Swing it to me.
Go ahead, Corey. Come on. All right, I'm gonna start doing it too.
All right. So if y'all remember the statement that we had left off with, it was Luka leaves the Dallas Mavericks next season. Fact or foolish?
No, but Kyrie does.
Yeah.
I think that Luka misses Jalen Brunson. He said it. He said that he's not having fun right now. He's, just alluded in different ways, different conversations, different statements. He's not happy right now. Yeah. I don't know if he thought that the situation with Kyrie was going to be an instant gratification, an instant fix to the situations within the Dallas Mavericks and the shortcomings within the Dallas Mavericks. But I knew from the beginning that this team needed time to develop chemistry. There was not enough time in the season to do it. Kyrie and Luka have similarities, but they also have differences in how they play the game, and you have to figure out how to merge those differences. Not enough time to do that. It's not resulting in what maybe he thought it would result in, meaning wins. Yeah. But Luka's not leading Dallas. If anything, he's putting pressure on the Dallas Mavericks front office and Mark Cuban to get him help and quickly. Because we've had this conversation, it seems like every season, get Luka help, get Luka help, get Luka help. And they've seemed to kind of like dabbled and kind of shortcutted their way around getting him help, but never fully surrounded him with a team necessary to help him win. Mm-hmm. And I think that he puts the pressure on the Dallas Mavericks this offseason and basically says in so many words, get me help or I'm leaving. Enough is enough. Like, I can't continue to do this. Yeah. And I think that's what ultimately happens. But he's not leaving unless something drastically goes bad.
What's your take, Brandon?
I'm going to go with Ashley. I don't want to get into one of the basketball
I don't have any debate.
Like, she's right. She knows basketball better than I do, so I'm going to go with Ashley. Do you say fact or foolish?
I say it's foolish.
You said he's staying, but Kyrie goes.
I think Kyrie goes to L.A.
I'm with Ashley on this one.
I think Kyrie's Kyrie will force his way to L.A. I don't think he wanted to go to Dallas to begin with. I think that the fact that Dallas is not even winning is more of a reason that he wants to leave. I think it was just a pit stop.
Can I ask you a question? Mm-hmm. Do I have smoker's lips?
Smoker's lips?
Somebody just say that in the comments or something?
No, I'm looking at it right now, and I don't smoke. Right. Well, I mean, I've tried it a couple times. Like, I want to be honest. I'm a very honest person, very transparent.
Okay.
You know, I would love to try smoking. I would love to find the right strand for me to knock the edge off a little bit. But I'm not like a smoker, right? Like, I've tried gummies before, but I would love to get into it. I want to learn. No, I'm just looking at it. It's just my lips. They're not like hydrated.
Do you exfoliate?
You exfoliate your lips?
Yeah.
Really?
Your lips are skin. How do you exfoliate dead skin, right?
Brush your lips.
Really?
If
I've
you don't
never
have any
heard that
tools.
before.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you making that like it's a thing? Like,
it is a thing.
Like
they literally sell lip scrubs for that very reason.
I was going to say, if you don't have the lip scrub yet, just start with like the toothbrush.
Brown sugar. No,
okay, answer my question.
Jesus,
Corey. Answer my question.
Toothbrush.
No, but you have to put something on it, like brown sugar.
Hold on, time out. Can we get a $3
brown
here, Manderville?
No, you actually might be putting me on.
Can we get Manderville? Corey Holmes.
Yeah.
Are you telling me you know about exfoliating your lips?
Corey's light skin. What you mean does he know about exfoliating his lips?
I'm a well put together man.
What do you mean?
Can we put JP
Corey's skincare routine is probably more intricate than mine. He's light skinned. That's what they do.
Justin, who is our
well
social
put together
for
man.
our
It
show,
just so happened
lives
to be
in
light
LA right now. Can you please put a poll together? How many guys actually knows about exfoliating their lips? Because I don't. Corey does. So right now we're split.
I'm sure Corey knows about a lot of things.
It did take a woman putting me on though, like, you know what I'm saying. So it's just.
Is that a light skin thing, Corey?
Not like I said. A woman put me on and said that it was good for your lips. I'm like, all right, take that knowledge and run with it.
So how often do you exfoliate your lips, Corey?
I mean, it's when I brush my teeth.
So every day?
Whoa, that's too much, sir.
I mean, that's not does it happen every day? Like, no, but like I'm consciously.
So you're not brushing your teeth every day?
I'm brushing my teeth every day. I'm talking about scrubbing my lips. What y'all trying to do?
You don't.
You just said.
You never. Okay, who told you to exfoliate your lips every single day?
Nobody said that. They said that you should exfoliate your lips.
You should exfoliate your lips maybe twice a week.
All right, that's what I'm saying. When it comes to mine, I'm doing it often. I consciously know that it's good for your lips, so I'll do it. Would I miss a week sometimes where I don't exfoliate my lips? Yeah, but I consciously know it's something good for your lips, so I do it.
Corey, what else do you like from a self grooming? Because I do believe that there's opportunity for men to lean more into self care and grooming, like trimming. Skincare. Like, I never really clean my face. I just use hot water and a rag.
What?
No, I never ever. Like, and I don't believe in all that stuff. I feel like it's going to actually make it worse. Like, if you don't have a problem, I think my problem over the last 2 years since I retired was more alcohol. So I just went like 30 days dry because I saw the change in my skin, but it's because my alcohol consumption was up. So I dropped that, and my skin is getting back to where it used to be.
Wait, when you were playing football, you used to wash your face with a hot rag and hot water?
My entire life.
No, I'm a believer in like what you consume.
You don't even use sunscreen?
Yeah.
No, I don't use no sunscreen.
Yeah.
None. I just boom. That's it. But there's everything. Clean your ears, clean your nose, trim your nose, trim your balls,
Manscape.
All of that stuff. So yeah, manscape it. I do think there's opportunity there, but Corey, like, I'm interested because this is new to me talking about lip exfoliation. Like, what else is a part of your self care, your grooming routine?
Right. It's nothing too crazy, honestly. Like it's being consistent and disciplined. Obviously, with brushing your teeth, you should not wake up or go to sleep without brushing your teeth. Like that
so
should
you
be.
brush your teeth twice?
Yeah, of course. Okay. Yeah, that should be routine.
Do you not?
Yeah,
I do.
Okay.
Sometimes it's 3 to 4 times a day. But
no, like in regards to like my skin routine and whatnot, like there's like some I forgot what it is. I couldn't even tell you what brand. I just know I use it. It might be like Clean and Clear or something like that.
You have a skincare routine?
Believe it or not, I do.
He's light skinned.
But listen.
You walk around the house and
chill out. That's what I'm saying. It's not to that extent.
Do you do mask?
No, it's not to that extent. Like I said, I'm putting like some moisturizer on my face. That's about it. Like I don't even know if I'm actually doing it right. But look, I mean my skin look good. You know what I'm saying? My skin look good. But what I think really helped was my change in diet. When I like in college, my skin was really bad. It was because I was on that McDonald's diet. Not McDonald's, but like, you know, Ocho versus Sun. I was on the Ocho side. Like I used to eat a lot of fried foods, and that used to have my skin messed up. But as soon as I really cut out fried foods, start to use that air fryer a lot more, skin started to clear up.
In all seriousness, guys, like for real, because I'm very big on skincare. Like it's one of my things. Like I take it very seriously. If you don't do anything else, if you don't wash your face with special stuff, please use sunscreen. Really? Like there is I don't know why in the Black community people think that we don't have to use sunscreen.
I gotta use
Melanoma
sunscreen.
Is very real. Please protect your face, even if it's not sunny outside, even if you're like, oh, it's not that. Get some sort of moisturizer, something that has sunscreen in it. Protect your face. Skin diseases, melanoma, like I said, is very real. It is so preventative. Please protect your skin. Like use sunscreen. Like for real. Yeah, that's a major thing.
I love that. Now back to my original question.
Yeah.
Do I have smoker's lips?
You have football player lips.
Football player lips? What that mean?
It's like, you know, like when they're in the helmet so much, but their mouths are always exposed, so it just gets dark. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. So they're dark.
Really what?
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like from constantly like being in the sun, like your whole face. You can tell. You ever see like a football player like in the summertime, like their face is a lot lighter than this part of their face because this is exposed to the sun and this is all covered in the helmet. That's what it's like.
Do I gotta put sunscreen on my lips too?
You should use a chapstick that has sunscreen if you can, if possible. But you can just put sunscreen and just go all over.
We should invent a chapstick that has sunscreen in it.
I'm pretty sure that exists, but
nobody knows, so we can do it and say we.
All right, well, hey, limit the talk on that then, if that's the case.
Okay.
Limit the talk. Hey, we got one more. We can Factor Foolish. We can do this real quick. Winner of the NBA Finals will come out of the Eastern Conference. Factor Foolish.
Fact.
Fact.
Well done.
Oh, what's this graphic?
Okay, it's gonna be Boston.
Yeah. Some of the heavy hitters. Some of the heavy hitters out of the East.
Didn't they just get cooked last night?
No, Jason Tatum missed a game winner, but they didn't get cooked.
Oh, they didn't get cooked, but they lost.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Miami, you think Miami has a chance?
They're going to be in that play-in. Yeah, it's going to be rough.
I think it's between those three in that graphic right there. Unless the Knicks want to make things interesting, baby, then make them interesting.
All right, next question.
All right, well, now look, so before we end the show, we're actually going to hop into the FanDuel Sportsbook. Huh? How about we do that? The NBA season is coming down to the wire, and of course, there's no better place to go get on the action than FanDuel. So what, some of the bets that they're offering on the website actually are, your early prediction of who we're going to actually make the NBA Finals. So kind of to go off of our last Factor Foolish statement there, Brandon, who you got making it to the NBA Finals? You can choose the NBA Finalists, so meaning you can choose whether it's, the 76ers versus the Phoenix Suns. You can do the Boston Celtics versus the Kings. Man. Who you got?
First off, Ashley and I were having this conversation yesterday in Louisiana, and I was asking her, and she was like, oh, it's too early. I just need another week or so. So next week, hopefully, Ashley's going to give us a whole bracket, right? For me, it's still too early, and this is tough. Ashley, I so badly wanted to go with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I'm like, man.
It's going to be hard when the Knicks send them home.
Oh, whatever. But then I went and I looked at their schedule. I mean, what are they, like fourth seed right now?
We're fifth.
But if you look at their games, like they're beating like who they're supposed to beat, and then they're splitting or getting beat by the good teams. right? And I don't like that. I need consistency. But Spider, like I feel like there's going to be all of our great athletes have moments in the postseason. Football, basketball, it doesn't matter. Like when everything's on the line, can you deliver? That's how you're judged on your greatness. Yeah. Could this be Spider Mitchell's moment, right? So I looked at them. I also looked at Joel Embiid. Joel, can we get 40 here and there from Joel throughout the playoffs consistently?
I mean, that's your MVP, right? You should be able to.
Come on. Let's not get into that discussion. Just stay with me here.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
So you got the Philadelphia 76ers. Like, Joel Embiid, he should. This could be the moment you're supposed to. You're supposed to come out and average 35 a night throughout the postseason and get your team to the finals. And then you got Giannis. It's just like, man, there's nothing exciting.
Who's your pick?
I'm going with the Bucks.
I got Boston and Phoenix.
Yeah, Boston and Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm going with the Bucks out of the East.
Oh.
And who you got out of the West? Who you got them facing in the finals?
This is tough too.
Yeah.
Because you got the Warriors. Are they still hot? Like I've been away from basketball for about 4 days. They still cooking? Mm-hmm. So you got the Warriors, man. They're scary. You got the Grizzlies. You see what Jaw just did? He posterized some guy. Like, just the energy he's coming with right now. You know, could he go on that run? Could this be the start of his legendary run? You got LeBron. I'm telling you guys right now, the NBA playoffs is going to be must-see TV. Any tournament, any game.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
It's going to be great. Lakers, I think they're going to give people problems. But I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about it. CP3, KD, and Book. Come on, man. They going to get it done. I'm going with the Suns.
So
Before we go, you guys want to hear a funny story?
Nope.
Oh, no, we got 2 more picks. We got 2 more picks.
I'm going to tell a funny story after. I'll close out with the funny story.
So with that, you got the Bucks facing the Suns in the finals, right? So and then we also got the Bucks. I think we got the Bucks winning it all, right? So in that next graphic, that's what it looked like on the app. You could select that for the Bucks to face the Suns in the finals. And then if we got our next graphic ready, then you could just pick the winner, right? So we got the Bucks winning. And then if you want to just double down on those bets, right, you can go to the next one. Then you can actually predict the exact result, right? So we got the Bucks and the Phoenix Suns in the finals, right? We got the Bucks as our winners. On FanDuel, you can actually bet Milwaukee Bucks to beat the Phoenix Suns and make a big bag from that.
Corey.
Yeah.
What are you betting?
What am I betting?
Asking me the question.
I'm always asking you.
You tell me quickly.
So look, yeah, this is tough though. This is tough, but I don't think it's like you want to just go with like the easiest pick because like it's what makes sense. But like I think the Sixers can do it. Mm-hmm. I think it's gonna be like the Sixers. I think Joel Embiid is on a tear that like nobody's gonna be able to stop him. Now, granted, he'd have to beat both the Bucks and the Celtics to get there. If he does it, he's winning the finals. Like they're gonna win the finals. Wow. I think it'll be the Sixers and Suns.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be the Sixers and the Suns. Okay. Hey, but we'll be right back with Ashley's little closeout after this disclaimer. Disclaimer, 21 plus in select states. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG. Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Tennessee, Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342, Arizona. 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat, Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT, Indiana. 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com, Kansas. 1-877-770-STOP, Louisiana. Call 1-800-327-5050 or visit www.mahelpline.org/problem-gambling, Massachusetts. Visit www.mdgamblinghelp.org, Maryland. 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369, New York. 1-800-522-4700, Wyoming, or visit www.1800gambler.net, West Virginia. So remember, FanDuel app, it's safe, it's secure, it's easy to use. FanDuel has exclusive offers, boosts, and more all month long. When you win, you'll get paid fast. It'll be right in your account at the end of that game. FanDuel has lots of ways to play, like the spread, the money line, over-unders, team totals, player props, and so much more. Jump into action at any time during the game with live betting as well. And you can combine bets from the same game with the same game parlay. And don't forget to try Same Game Parlay Plus. So download FanDuel app today or head to FanDuel.com/IAA and make every moment more. Ashley, I heard the video is in.
Yeah, the video is in, but before we get there, I want to tell you guys a little story.
Oh, we'll do the story first. Okay.
So, as you guys know on this show, Brandon's always giving his NBA comparisons, right? He says that he can defensively put the skates on Joel Embiid. Stack had a crazy reaction to that. He said, no, the hell you couldn't. You would hack out. Then yesterday, there's a video of Brandon showing his handles. And in the video, he says that I ask him who his NBA comparison is as he's doing the handles. And he tells me it's Donovan Mitchell.
Facts.
So I said, okay. I sent the video to Donovan Mitchell and I said, watch this. And I get a text back from Donovan maybe about an hour later. And he says, and I quote, trash ass handles. Then I tell him, Brandon says that you're his NBA comparison. Donovan said, laughing my ass off, that's cap. So,
wow.
But it gets even better. So we're in LSU and we're having a great time, and we had a great sit down with Angel, and she was the best. And Brandon wants to go to the practice gym. So we go to the practice gym and they're doing free throw shooting and they're doing all this stuff and they're going tit for tat. Now I will give Brandon his props. He free throws, that's his bread and butter. Okay, he would be a fantastic free throw shooter. Game on the line, he's at the line, you might win it. You probably will hit 2 out of the 2. Yeah. Then there is a young gentleman who practices with the LSU women's basketball team, helps them, when they're in practice, plays their opponent, keeps their skill set up. And Brandon said, let's play one-on-one. Guy said, okay. He laces his shoes up. He gets in there, cooking them. He's left. He's right. Brandon's doing these weird moves. He's making weird noises. He takes his shirt off because he's sweating profusely through his off-white. Man. I mean, it was disgusting. Yeah. So he had to take a shower after. That's how much he was sweating. Wow. I'm like, oh, this content is too good to not be seen by the public. I'm like, I never go live, but I'm going to go live today. I turn my live on. People start flooding in. Stack's in the mix. He's like, yo, tap me in. Yeah. I'm like, all right, Stack, I'm going to tap you in. I'm recording live, and this happens. Watch. Oh. Someone says you hoop like you've been to jail.
Oh, my God. This is so funny.
Like, that's what I want to see, a dead body.
Why do you enjoy seeing me hurt or fail? Like, why? Look at her. Look at this. Something's wrong with her.
Yeah, that was rough. Rough.
I can't believe they captured that moment.
Damn, they caught you slipping.
Not only did I capture it, it was live. It happened in real time. It was seen in real time. I'm sharing it with all of the people in the chat right now. They asked, we delivered. I mean, how did that feel? Someone said, oh, nah.
There's a lot you said here. All right, and this is what I want to say. First off, going back to Donovan Mitchell, I'm not even calling him Spider no more until he beats me. I was thinking about this driving in. I'm like, you know what? He got to see me this offseason. Go do your thing. Hopefully we see you after the finals, right? I'm still rooting for you. But I heard, you know what I mean, you got a nice house on the way or something like that. So I'm pulling up. We pulling up. We want to do content on the go. And you got to see me one-on-one. I'm going to be in shape. And I promise you, I'm going to give him crazy work. That's first. The second thing is, this is how America works. This is the world, okay? They want to kick you when you down. They want to highlight your low lights, but they don't want to highlight your highlights. You ain't show how I went. I don't even want to, because I want to put this out later. You ain't show how many free throws I made in a row.
I just gave you your credit.
You didn't show how many half-court shots. I mean, I'll say this. The first attempt from the half-court line, Ashley, what did I do? I'll tell you. You don't have to say it. I sunk it. I sunk it, but she ain't tell y'all that.
I started off saying you're a phenomenal free throw shooter, and game on the line, you would be a good asset. You'd probably hit 2 out of 2. That does not negate the fact that you got posterized. You got posterized. It was an evident dunk.
That's the first time I've ever been dunked on in my life, and that's true. No cap.
Here we go again. Here we go again, folks. Here we go again, folks.
They played it again.
Bro, that's too funny.
Oh man, to be tripping. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting it. Oh, man.
That's too.
How did that feel in real time? How did that feel? How's it feel to get dunked on?
You know what? I'm secure in my manhood now, and this is for real. Like growing up, like I never got dunked on. I'm fouling you before you even dunk.
Happens to the best.
I wasn't even thinking about him dunking on me. Like I'm old, I'm not even thinking about playing above the rim. I'm not even putting 2 to 2 together. This kid is young. He still got crazy bunnies. He got he's still young. He's in his prime. So I'm not even thinking about it when it happened. I'm like, holy shit, this is the first time I've ever been dunked on. But I was like, you know what? I'm secure in my manhood. I went my entire life. I just turned 39. And not a lot of dudes can say that hoop, that they never been dunked on before.
We got to get that fact check.
LeBron been dunked on. LeBron was dunked on in high school and college. I got that over LeBron. I got that over KD. I got that over Joel Embiid. So I'm happy with that. I'm secure in my manhood.
Corey, you ever been dunked on?
Yep.
Oh, no, I have.
How did that make you feel?
It happens, yo. It happens. But you know what you got to do? You got to come back that next play and either sink a 3 in their face or dunk on them back. That's it.
Well, I was there, and Brandon didn't do that. So.
Yeah, no.
All right. You wanna exit the show? You wanna do the thing? You gonna do Italiano?
Yeah, I'll say drop some
Italiano.
Italiano.
No, but in all seriousness, thank you so much, LSU, Baton Rouge, Angel Reese, for having us yesterday. So hospitable, so warm, so welcoming. It was a great sit down. The feedback has been incredible. I'm glad that we were able to have an honest conversation with her and get the answers that people were looking for, but also, showcase her in a different light that I think people weren't aware of based on that one instance in a game, and hopefully they walked away with a different opinion of her and a more positive opinion of her, and realized, especially after Caitlin Clark came out yesterday and said, listen, the game is the game. I respect Angel. She respects me. And it's just the nature of the beast. And, congrats to them. And I hope that we can leave it there and put it to bed and give women ballers the same respect we give to men, and allow them to showcase their athleticism and their raunchiness and their swagger and all the things that we celebrate men for. I hope that we can start celebrating women for as well. So
I love that. No, well said. Now exit us.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Arrivederci.
See you tomorrow.